Hello, everybody. Welcome to Build Crew Live. Torsten, you're joining us from somewhere else in the world.
Hello, first of all, yes, I'm joining from Tallinn, I think is how you pronounce it in English, in Estonia. So
Wow.
we're here for an AMP team meetup, and I arrived on Monday. I'm leaving tomorrow. For me, it's a 2-hour flight. And the others are here, I think, the whole week.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's nice.
it's
It's
been
nice.
fun. I've been very jealous, though. I couldn't go because my amazing sister and mom are in town. But it looks like you are having fun. I see that we both have our AMP
The AMP
gear on.
merch,
Yeah.
wrapping AMP, yeah.
What's up? Cool. Well, everybody, thanks for joining. We've got a lot of fun stuff to cover. This week, Torsten's going to do some live hacking. We've got what we're calling the Code the Impossible Challenge. So he's going to code live, and we're going to talk about that. We're also giving away $500 in AMP code credits. And this one, you got to be on your toes for, and you have to listen to the whole show, because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to say a secret word, and that word is ham, because I love ham. And if you hear that word within 60 seconds, you have to go and enter that in a URL that we're going to put up on the screen.
I can't say it, right? Like, I don't trigger it.
If you really want to cause chaos, you could.
I could talk about my hamster, or like
So
ham sandwich.
yeah,
I'm gonna have a
let's just keep it wild. So if you feel like triggering the word, you can.
no. I think you should trigger it,
Okay.
but that allows me to keep them on their toes. Then I
Okay.
can say,
Okay, good. So everybody, only me. So if I say the word ham or any form of the word ham at some point in the show, you have 60 seconds to go to this URL, tinyurl.com/amp secret word, enter in the secret word. And everybody who does that, I'm going to pick one name out of the hat, and you win $500 in AMP code credit, which tomorrow will load up in your account. So that's kind of something fun we're doing. Keep you on your toes, have a little fun, see how it goes. Also, don't forget to join Build Crew. So what is Build Crew? Build Crew is basically a friendly, welcoming community for anybody building with agents. So if you code and you use agents, Build Crew is for you. You don't have to use AMP. You can use any agent. It could be Claude Code, Cursor, Windsurf, AMP. Choose your own adventure. You are welcome to join. And so it's just buildcrew.team. We've got over 1,000 people in the community. We've got a really active Discord. I want to shout out to everybody in the Discord right now. We've got a lot of people sharing their questions, helping each other, giving each other feedback. So it's a fun place to be. Plus, if you join, we give you $100 in AMP credit as well. So that's what Build Crew is. We're giving away $500 if you hear the word ham. So watch out for that. That's not it, by the way. And then we're doing a lot of fun stuff like live coding. We're also going to do something called prompt shootout. So prompt shootout is where we pit two prompts against each other on the same challenge and see what happens. So a lot of stuff. We're also going to cover the news. A lot of stuff is happening. Want to let you know what we think is important, and we're going to have a bit of fun. So Connor wants a blank sandwich, but now I can't say it because,
Yeah, I could say it. And Dorsey is joining from Aberdeen. Is Aberdeen as gloomy and dark as it is in Estonia?
It might be. So that reminds me, let us know where you're calling in from, everybody. So pop in the comments, say hi, tell us where you're calling in from, and we'll call you out on the screen and we'll get going. So I see Noah out there. Noah, thanks for joining. Enjoyed your video that you posted the other day. So let's get to it. We're going to kick off with the news. There's just a ton happening. And I think Opus 4.5 is probably the most exciting thing happening. So
yeah,
what is the deal with Opus 4.5? Give us your thoughts, Torsten.
It's the newest model from Anthropic. I'm going to throw up here on the screen like our news post from last week. So it's an impressively good model, and we switched AMP to use it as the new default model behind the main agent. And as we wrote here, historic change, because just a week prior we switched to Gemini 3.
Yeah.
which I loved so much so that everybody made fun of me, and I still love it.
It's a
And
good
it was
model.
good. It was good to me. It never disappointed me. I don't like. It was amazingly good to me, but
It was a good model. It wasn't
yeah,
just you.
yeah, it's an amazing model. It has amazing highs, but for some users, it did have frustrating lows. So that means some users ran into the issue where it would, leak thinking, or it would go into like these loops and just produce output and output, which costs money, right? So we have like these amazing highs but lows, and
Yep.
then a week later, yes, a week later, Opus 4 comes out. We get early access. So we try this out. And it turns out it matches the highs of Gemini 3
Mm,
without the low lows. Like
yep.
it's yeah, again, like Gemini 3, amazing. I didn't have any lows with it, but our users did. And Opus
Mm,
4.5 doesn't have this. And, like we said here, like better, faster, often cheaper. The tricky thing with this was Opus has always been like the most expensive model that Anthropic offered,
yep.
but they lowered the price for Opus 4.5.
Yep.
So it is 1.6 times more expensive on a per token basis than Gemini
Mm,
3, or I think Sonnet 4.5. I'm not sure. Can't remember exactly. But
close.
basically, the point is, yes, the price per token is higher, but how many tokens do you need to get a result, right?
Yes.
And what we found out here is that in our use case, this year, the average thread cost was lower than it was for Sonnet 4.5, and a lot of that is due to the 1 million context window. But
Yep.
in here, it's 148 to $2.05. So it is more expensive. But we think like off the rails cost is what we calculated. Like
Tell
we
everybody what that is, because off the rails cost is a new metric. I like it.
so basically it's the way these agents work is the model says something and then it calls tools, then you get the results, you send the results back up to the model, and then the model says another thing, calls a bunch of other tools. Sometimes it goes off the rails, meaning it produces a lot of output, like in Gemini it went off the rails and produced a lot of thinking stuff, right?
Yep.
And leaked thinking. And when you look at this, you can see that Gemini 3 had this issue, and Sonnet also kind of had it, or had like a lot of these longer assistant messages that cost also, and Opus 4.5 barely has them.
Can you blow up the
So,
text for me? Make it real big.
oh yeah, like this.
Yeah,
I
there we go.
think. Yeah, so I'm like, ugh, kind of messed it up. Yeah, but yes, it is more expensive per tokens, and yes, you can end up with threads that are expensive, and we're looking into this actively, and
Mm,
we've got user feedback already, but it's not as clear cut as saying if the tokens are cheaper, then the result will be cheaper.
right.
And we've talked a lot about this before with other cheaper and faster models like Composer One, the Cursor model. It's presumably cheap and it's super fast. And when you see a model that's super super fast, you're impressed because you see all of that stuff flying past.
Totally.
But
But
then
it's
the
not
question
necessarily
is,
right.
exactly, like it might go and do, oh, I failed to set it. Let me try this again. Let me delete this file. Let me recreate the file. And it looks busy. It's a difference between being busy and being
Busy and good.
productive. Yeah, exactly. And
Totally.
so there is something there, and we think
It's
it's
better.
worth it. And yeah, and I think since Opus 4.5, I truly think like
Yeah.
the game has changed again a little bit. I think
It's good.
it's impressive. Like it's one shot at a bunch of stuff that was
It's really good. And it's interesting because I love Every and they always do a model kind of tear down, and they did one
switch back to you. Yeah.
for Opus 4.5, and Kieran, who we had on Next Token,
Yeah.
basically said it feels like a step change, and I agree. Like as soon as we got access to it, I was like, whoa! Like how you it takes about 2 prompts for you to get that feeling of like, oh, how good is
Yeah.
this? And I was like, oh, this is feeling good, and it just kept feeling good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's things now where, and I think we were talking about this when I was in San Francisco with you. There's you know that you have these things in the back of your head that as an engineer, you know that you're going to have to take care of because you think the model's not going to figure it out or remember or see the edge case.
Yes.
And then Opus started to proactively say a couple of those things to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like
Yeah.
it well. So, all right. So we've got some friends in the crowd saying some stuff. Andreas says off the rails cost is super interesting. Not only does it mess with the inference cost, but also has negative effects on the context consuming.
Yeah, that's true. And also, hi, Andreas. I've known him. I think we first met in 2014, 15, when I was working at one of my first startups, and we met both smokers back then. I don't know if he still smokes, but we met. They were in the same building, and we met downstairs for smoking breaks. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Andreas, good to see you. And we have a couple other friends asking about the secret word, by the way. And I'm not going to tell you the secret word is, but listening is I'll say a weird word. And when I do, you're going to go to a URL and enter it in. So stay in your
you typed the word in. There was a question. What do I do? You open the URL, a tiny, I don't know what the URL is, and you type in the word.
The word. That's it. Very simple. And we'll pick one of you to win $500 in the AMCO credits. Francisco says sort of a cost to think versus cost to execute. No. I like that.
Yeah. I'll just say this, like if you try and figure out is something cheaper, like if you try and figure out what's the cost of the result and you see these threads, it's really hard to make sense of the data.
Yeah.
And everybody who's ever done any data analysis knows this, and I'm sure some people are watching this and they've done this, where you're like, well, if you take the outliers on either end out and just look at the middle, then it's a completely different result. But then the question is, are the outliers important? Are they not important? And in the case of Gemini, the outliers are important,
Right. They are.
But then for like the average Sonnet 4.5 use case, where somebody went nuts and had like 500 messages and used up all 1 million tokens, maybe that's not representative. But for Gemini 3, I don't know, like it's tough, but we try to make sense of it, and we're still evaluating this constantly.
Yeah. And it's we say this over and over, it's our job to use the tools hard and really figure out what is the best model for all of you. So you don't have to be toggling between models all the time. Everybody that's watching, don't forget to tell us where you're calling in from. Alou is calling in from Paris. Jealous. I'd love to be in Paris right now. And Dorcia says it's dark and gray in Aberdeen, by the way. So it doesn't make you feel as bad. All right, so let's go to our next news story. We're gonna go straight to Anthropic being acquired by Bun. Like, I was kind of shocked by this, but I think you were less so, maybe. So, what is happening, and why did they do this? What do they get out of it? What is Bun for people?
Well, why were you shocked?
I mean, I guess it's one of those things where you sort of always feel like this tool that we all love, it doesn't feel acquirable. There was something about it like that felt weird, but I should have put on my commercial hat and realized, oh, that makes perfect sense from a commercial point of view. Bun is amazing. But let's backtrack and tell everybody what Bun is, just in case they don't know.
Bun is a JavaScript runtime. If you know Node.js or Dino, that's kind of what Bun is, like that type of software, that category of software. And Bun was started, I actually don't know, I think 3 years ago, by Jared Sumner. And he said, I'm going to build a new JavaScript runtime, and it's going to be 100 times faster than all the others, and it's going to follow these ideas that I have about what a standard library should be and how a runtime should behave. And I don't know how many people they were or are right now, but they hired a bunch of people. It's a VC funded, he took funding. It's a VC funded startup. And if anybody here has ever worked in VC funded startup, this is a game where you don't play to then become slightly profitable. Like the VC game is you build something that gets valuable, really valuable, so then this investment pays off on like a 5x, 10x, 100x multiplier. And they play this game, and yesterday in their announcement blog post, so yesterday it was announced that Anthropic acquires the Bun team, or Oven is the company called. And in the blog post, they mentioned that, this gives us the freedom to not having to figure out monetization, because that was a big question where people were asking, it's a JavaScript runtime and you're giving it away for free and it's open source. How are you going to make money? Because people are scared of like rug pulls where it's like, oh, you're using this to build the stack. I'm using your stack to build my thing. And then suddenly you're saying, pay me $50 a month. So, something like this, like a rug pull.
Yeah.
And then in the blog post, which I think was great, I think the blog post was amazingly well written. And I don't know what the byline says, but they have some really good writers at Bun. Lydia Hall works at Bun. She's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she had any input in this, but the blog post is super honest and transparent and talks about, look, like we built this thing, we built a team. And then what I think is the most important and interesting bit and relevant to us too is that Jared wrote that, look, like software is changing a lot. Like, where is this going? Like, where's software development going?
Yeah.
And at the same time, the blog post says, Claude Code uses Bun. We also use Bun at AMP, and Claude Code uses Bun heavily.
Yeah.
And he's been talking to the Claude Code team about the future of software development. And I think if I have to, this is my interpretation. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds to me like with a lot of these uncertainties, it's, what software development will be. And, Bun was created in a world that doesn't exist anymore. The world from 2 years ago doesn't exist anymore. And the question is like, what do you build a framework for now with agents writing a lot of code? And I think in that world now, or the world in the future, it's nice if a company says, we're going to acquire you and you can keep building this, and you're going to keep building this together with us while we build agents and we do a bunch of other stuff with it. And there's a bunch of theories. And one theory, for example, is that they want to do, more containerization or remote agents, and the sandboxing stuff in Bun could help with this, or they're going to put sandboxing stuff in Bun. Or like Andreas said in the chat, to make the idea of personalized micro web apps a reality.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in the Claude app, they've always done like some JavaScript stuff, so you can build web apps. If you have like one standardized runtime, maybe it helps with this. But maybe it's, I don't know.
I think it will make it easier to deploy these sort of personalized micro apps everywhere.
I think, the bigger, I don't know. I wasn't that surprised because I've been thinking about this. The idea of frameworks kind of seems old in the year 25.
It does.
And there's a lot of people who disagree with me, and they told me on Twitter, and they said like, what? You still need abstractions. You still need all of this. But I do think that, I think Jose Valim said this. He's building something similar with Elixir, where look, like you're running, you have a framework, and the job of a framework is to make you, the developer, more productive.
Right.
To help you reduce bugs, to help you reduce the amount of code you have to write, and to help you debug stuff and build, scaffold an app and whatnot. But the framework, I think, is the ultimate developer tool for your for your application. Sorry. And then the question is, if your developer tool, remember, I don't know if anybody here has ever used Rails, but remember Rails, they had like a console. So if you had a stack trace that could crash, you had like even a REPL in the web app where you can debug this stuff.
Right.
It's nice. And now the question is, in a world where people take stack traces and then send it to the agent and say, fix this bug for me, don't you see that you could marry like the framework and the agent?
And the agent.
It's the same thing. Like it's all making the developer productive.
Yes.
And
I
don't know.
I totally agree. Yeah, we need a world where the framework is agent first. And so it'll be fun to see where it goes. So let's keep cranking. Will be fun to see what happens with Bun. And Claude Code, and all of us, and where this goes. So quickly want to touch on some big news we had. We've obviously all got our AMP gear on. Why don't you tell everybody what happened with AMP and SourceGraph?
Yeah, should I pull up the post too? Let me see if I can find it. I think I can find it.
While you do that, some friends in the crowd like Ridgetop AI are asking for merch. Everybody loves
merch,
new logos.
Yeah, I think we're working on it. We want to make this is a limited edition.
Only Torsten.
This is a limited edition. This is actually related to what you see on my screen. I don't know if it's up on the stream, but basically yesterday we announced that AMP is being spun out of SourceGraph, or we are spinning it out of Sourcegraph and making it a separate company. So in the future, there will be AMP Inc., and it's going to have the people here at the bottom as a co-founders, as a founding team, and we're going to keep building AMP. And in a company, in a separate company, we have more freedom to do this. And this T-shirt is actually what we gave ourselves to kick this off. Like this was in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago in SF. So under the hood or behind the scenes, however, what do you like, cars or theater more? We've been operating independently for the last 4 or 5 weeks or something. So we've, have a separate Slack and blah, blah, blah. And even, this is not saying anything negative about Sourcegraph, but even just being completely separate with like 20 people makes a lot of stuff easier. Because in a large company, you have to talk, or you just talk to other people. There's more possible distractions. There's more, you want to help other people when they have questions. And if you're 20 people, it's just a little bit quieter and a little more focus is possible. And this is what we announced yesterday.
Yeah, it's exciting. I can feel it's already moving faster. Just can't wait to see where it goes. So cool. Thanks, Andreas, for the kind words. A couple other people said they were excited for us as well. And Engineer Wannabe says, so no relations with Sourcegraph from now on. I mean, we're still friends. We have some shared services, but we're a separate company.
And there will be like, I can't talk about any I don't know any legal stuff, but it's you cannot really cut ties like this. And there will be it's then the sister or brother or whatever company,
sibling thing. All right, well, let's keep cranking. I want to actually get to coding.
Let's do it. I think we're running. We got to put on the gas. Let's
put on the gas. So everybody, what we're doing is this new segment called Code the Impossible, and Torsten's going to share his screen, and he's going to code a feature live using AMP, and we're just going to talk about it and see what happens. We don't know exactly where it's going to go. Keep your ears out for the secret word that I'm going to say at some point. When I say it, you're going to see something on the screen, and then you've got to go enter it in. So keep your ears on for that. And then after that, we're going to do what we're calling prompt shootout, where we pit 2 prompts against each other. So let's go to Code the Impossible.
Okay. I won't be seeing the chat. So if people say that's amazing or that's fantastic, how did he do this? You'll need to tell me.
I will tell you if they say
okay.
Don't worry.
So I'll try to quickly summarize what it is we're doing. So I wrote last year, but with my own hands typing, I wrote a little terminal emulator, right?
It's shocking now.
And a terminal emulator, you all know this, iTerm, terminal app, Kitty, like these are all terminal emulators, or here Ghosty, which is the one I'm using.
Okay.
And I built my own, and it looks like this. It's called Toucan TY. I've never said this out loud. I don't know how, Ryan, how would you pronounce this? I had a program language called Toucan. Oh, you would call, okay, Toucanty.
Toucanty?
No, that's not it. But anyway, this is it, right? And it already works. It uses the GPU. It's written in Rust. I think it's impressive. It's fun. And I got frustrated with it last year, and I kind of gave up on it. And then AMP helped me revive it, like so many other projects. Mm-hmm. And now it works. And, like here it has like this rainbow typing effect, which is an earthquake effect. But other than that, it's like an actual, real terminal. And it can do here NeoFetch. It can do display stuff. It can display colors already. I can scroll, as you can see, which is not
so before to get it just to this point, like how many lines of code or how much effort was this?
Let's see quickly. It's not 4,000 lines of Rust. I don't know what there's like shader stuff, but it's not that much code.
Okay.
I would say.
Cool.
It's not that much. It's still a toy project. There's no dependencies, basically no dependencies. I really wanted to learn about a lot of this stuff. So there's some, but not a lot. So what I want to do, so I'll show you something. So one problem this terminal emulator has is if I were to run, let's make it big like this. If I run AMP in here, or maybe let's make Here, this is
Cool.
there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work. Ignore this, but I want to show you something.
That was pretty
It doesn't. The colors look off. The orb here looks off, right?
Yes. It's trippy.
Because it's trippy. It's the colors do not work, and I want to show you. So this is I prepared some of this. So I have a script that says test colors. There you go. So this is a script executed in Ghostly that shows how many colors you can display in a terminal. And up until, say, I don't know when it actually was, like say 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you have like these 16 or 256 colors, right?
Oh, wow.
And then you had more colors, and then you have true color, and now you can do actually a rainbow gradient, right? And this works in like all modern terminals. Even if I did this and I say scripts, test colors, this is Kitty. Here, there you go. Displays it the same way, right?
Wow,
So
cool. Got it.
cool. But if I run this
But
in
two
my
cancers
term,
won't do it.
well, let's see. Test colors. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we want to use AMP to do this.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I'm going to show you something. So I built this live on stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask AMP to do it. And I'm not going to say, hey, the colors don't work. Can you implement it? What I'm going to say is, hey, in this terminal emulator, we don't render all colors. I want you to see that for yourself. Use the capture mode, and then in that capture mode, run scripts test colors, and then look at the screenshot. Because what I built is a feedback loop. So basically, I built this capture mode, which allows the agent to capture the output of the terminal. Like this is a native macOS application, and I built like first class support into AMP
to basically do a screen grab.
Exactly.
Wow.
And
because you can't use Playwright, for instance, which is for web, to capture the screen grab. So you create a feedback loop.
Exactly. So here it's using a new experimental tool. This is, I don't think if this is correct. So I'll look at the temp colors test file yourself, please. But basically what it does is it starts up my application. It says after 3 seconds of pause, run this, which is the test colors thing, take a screenshot and then it looks at it, right? Cool. And here it says, oh, what's broken is the true color, background, red gradient bar. What works is this grayscale. Okay. Okay. Want me to dig into the SGR handling code? Okay, let's do it. Dig into the code and figure out what's missing. So again, here, I guess I could do this, but I don't directly say like, hey, go and fix this, go and implement this. I like to have the agent go and accumulate relevant information in its context window. So what it does right now is, as you can see here, 16% is the context window. Yep. It kind of looks at like where the stuff is implemented without, guessing. So it looks at like the renderer or the terminal stuff. Yep. And it says, it only handles this. It's missing this, and it's true color supports this.
So let me ask you real quick. How long did it take you to build the capture feedback loop?
How long it took me?
Yeah, was that like a day?
No, this was 20 minutes. Okay. It's recorded. I can show you the video. I did this. Basically, I sat down and I asked it to render like these box drawing characters, right? Like these lines. And it couldn't do it. So I was like, here, yes, please. Let's quickly see. Now I have a complete picture. Here's what needs to be fixed. Summary of the issues. So what's this? Missing is this. Okay, let's please implement this. Maybe it's doing too much. I think I would start by saying only do 256 colors or something. But then again, look, Opus is smart. I'll implement this in three parts. It's smart, right?
That's so good.
So the feedback loop, obviously what you can do is you can do cargo run. Sorry, not right now, not while it's working, right? I can go to this different checkout, and you can do this, and then you can do something, and then you send a screenshot and say like, this looks bad, right?
But that takes forever.
that takes forever, and it's also arthritis. Like you constantly,
Right.
taking screenshots and whatnot. You don't want to do this.
No.
So giving it a feedback loop. Again, I'll need to share the video. I think Brad is going to cut it up, but basically, I ask it, "Hey, can you build a feedback loop for yourself so you can see what renders on the GPU?" And it went ahead and just did it. Like it actually wrote really good, impressive code. And this was in one of the first few days that I used Opus 4.5 after we released it, and I was impressed. It just like it wrote really good Rust code, and it was thought
awesome.
well out. Like it was good. And so then I had it implement like these box run characters, and then I had like this other script here, scripts drawbox, this one here.
Oh, cool.
And I said like, hey, I want you to use the new. There you go. It's testing it. So this is AMP doing it. Okay, it interrupted me. That's it looks the same. The issue is like it is. Let's add some. Ooh, so now it uses the capture mode to itself.
That's cool.
See, yeah. So now it can test. So look, like now it gets like output. So now it's going to start it. It's going to print stuff.
I love seeing
So
it.
now it sees
capture
debug
commands.
output. There you go. So it's using the feedback loop to get more information. And it's running, right? Like this was smart. If I'm just going to scroll up. So basically here, it did this, and I don't know why it didn't look at the screenshot it produced, but basically it figured out that it can do debug output. And then once it does debug output, it runs the program again and it sees this stuff, which is its debug output, and then it tries to figure this stuff out. And now it's going to do this. This seems like it's streaming in a big edit. So let's see. But there you go. Big edit. Right?
Oh, wow.
Bunch of stuff changed.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And this looks gnarly, but it's actually a lot of this stuff like dude, you see this? Did you see this?
Did it just work?
It just worked. Look at this.
All colors are now rendering. Oh my God, this was too easy. This is too short.
This was too easy. Look at the screenshot. Oh, not like this, I guess. Wait a second. If I say open temp, and then we can say, what was it? It was temp colors test 3.png. So this is the screenshot it took, and look at the colors.
Wow. And that didn't work 8 minutes ago.
It didn't work 8 minutes ago. I mean, we can see maybe what are the others. Yeah, this was the first one. This is what it looked like before, and now it looks like this.
Wow. Okay, so why don't you walk us through the thread, because that almost happened so fast.
Yeah. So let's go up here. So basically the first, just to go back, right? Like I guess I can use tab to jump to the messages. So here, this is where we started, right? Hey, in this terminal emulator, we don't render all the colors. And then it went and used the feedback loop the first time, which is what I built last week. And then it uses this little sub agent that's experimental to look at the image. And it says like, oh, it actually, the true colors are working, but the 256 colors work, which is wrong. They didn't work, right? We will see this. So then I said, look at the file yourself. It looks at it. So this is some tokens, this costs some context. And it says like true colors. And it still says the 256 is working, which is, maybe this is like a weak spot, like the visual.
Yeah.
But then it's like, hey, you want me to dig into the SGR handling code, and SGR stands for blah 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 graphics, blah blah blah, right? Like it's a terminal protocol to render colors. Maybe it doesn't even stand for graphics, who knows? But it is a protocol for sure for colors, right? So then it looks at the code, says like, here's the handler. It doesn't do this. It's missing, and now it sees in the code. Right. And this is the beauty of agents, like this is not you copy and pasting code, right? It's for itself saw, look, it's actually missing this. Because imagine if you had pasted screenshots to ChatGPT, it would have said, oh, I see, like you're missing only true color support or whatever.
Right.
But it's not grounded in reality. And now it looks at the code and now it sees 256 color support is missing and true color support is missing. Let me check how this works. So then this is one of the only dependencies, this crate that does like the parsing of like the terminal stuff. And then it goes through And then it's like, here's what we should do. Like right now, colors are only represented as like the 16 colors. We need to extend. It only supports the 16 ANSI colors. We're missing the 256 color palette with like a U8.
Yep.
And then it's missing the true colors where you can specify 3 bytes, right?
Wow.
And then we're missing the parser that handles the signals from the terminal application to display these colors. And yeah, blah, blah, blah. It requires it want me to do this. And then it starts doing this, implements like this is the handling of the colors. So I think in this case, it actually refactored the code. Oh, there you go. Select graphic rendition.
Rendition.
SGR. Yeah. Rendition. Sorry. And then it refactors it. I think it's going to put it here, SGR. So this is nice, right? Like it actually makes the code cleaner by putting this somewhere else in a separate method.
Yep.
And then it checks like, what does the terminal tell us? So in the terminal emulator, it's the application telling the terminal to display something in color, right? Cool. So what we're looking at here is AMP tells Ghosty in this thing here, display this with green background, right? And this is what this is. So if the terminal sends this, we set the background to this. If the terminal sends this, we set the background to this.
Yep.
And then it goes through, it does this. And then I think the next interesting thing, then it runs through the errors.
Check for errors.
Wrong size. We need to fix this. We need to fix this. Let's test it. And then it runs into this issue. The result looks the same. The issue is likely this. So then the question it had was, wait, am I interpreting what the application, the terminal application sends us in the wrong way? Or do I not parse it correctly? So it puts debug stuff in, and then it runs it again, and it says, I can see the issue.
Interesting.
It's separate arrays, not a single array. And then it fixes it and says it's, this instruction, this says basically, set the background to this color, I think, and it says it comes as 5 separate single element arrays, pattern matching this, RGB. So it changes how it parses this stuff, changes the code it generated, runs it, and then says it now works.
So it's interesting because you didn't say, hey, also add some debug logging.
No, it did it on its own. This is Opus 4.5, yeah.
And it's interesting because you did a little bit of extra work to build a capture feedback tool.
Yep.
And it's like you just gave it a little bit of help and said, here's something you can use.
Yep.
So a lot of people are saying now we know what SGR is, and they're happy about that. So thanks for helping with that. So
I mean, So I just want to see something here. It's just to close the loop on this. Look, if we now, so this is the terminal. It now should have, if we do Dropbox, no, test colors. Okay, this works, right? If we now run AMP inside of it, do we still have the Shroom orb, or is it the?
Oh my god!
It's still a little bit off. It still looks a little bit weird.
But it's not super.
Oh, I know what this is. We could fix this the next time. Basically, the terminal right now does not allow you to change the color of the cursor and make it invisible. It's always the rainbow.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's always this, the rainbow thing.
All right. Wow. Okay, so let me recap for everybody. Basically, Torsten wanted to take his custom Termulator emulator called Tucanti, which didn't support all of the modern colors. And basically said, let's see if AMP can build it out.
Exactly.
You built a tool, though, to help it, which was called Capture, which allowed it to essentially take a screen grab of a terminal because there's no tool for that.
Yep.
And then it also figured out I'm going to do some console, I guess it's not console logging, but some output logging to help itself. And then it figured it out. So what do we think about, that in Opus 4.5 versus maybe what you could have done in Sonnet 4.5 versus Gemini 3? Like, how do you think, how much of that was the model versus the capture tool versus something else?
I think let's go through a bunch of different things and let's say, what is the model? What's the other thing? I think, the model didn't make any coding mistakes, right? Like it did some like type stuff, but it didn't produce garbage code that didn't compile, right? It was only one thing. So that's definitely the model. Like the model just gets smarter at producing code. The model also knows like what is the graphic stuff. It knows about terminals. Like this stuff is well known. The model also knows how to call a terminal command, right? What I think is new, and we do something in AMP, like we try to nudge the model to use feedback loops to get, feedback about what it's doing. But at the same time, the people working on these models, they also tell the model to get feedback about what it's doing. Right. So it's like, hey, get feedback on this. What I think is interesting is that at some point when it didn't work, it did like this weird thing where it's like, wait a second, it doesn't work and it still doesn't show up. Let me put some debug logs in. And I think at this point, if you think back, maybe Sonnet 4 or 4.5 maybe wouldn't have done this, and maybe gone another bunch of times, around and say like, hey, it still doesn't work.
Or it would have said it was correct.
It would have said, yeah, it works now, or something like this. Yeah, they gave up because they like, hey, it compiles, and they're trained on, once it compiles, it looks done. There's no errors. I'm good. Yeah. But in this case, it actually figured out that what I want, the goal that I want, is that it looks at the screenshot and the colors display correctly, right? Yeah. Like that's kind of what it was.
That's the big
primed to do. Yeah, and that's then kind of what it did. And I don't know, like it's just, if I look at this type of stuff, I can see so many things where a weaker model, or like even, I don't know, it's December, half a year ago, a model would have gone off the rails, and maybe done the wrong Rust thing, or it doesn't understand this, or it doesn't understand that. And I think this is, the agentic harness is, it nudges it with like these tools in the right direction, and it's this guardrail of making it do the right thing. But then you can imagine, say you're a bad driver, like a not smart driver, they might constantly bump into the guardrails, and a smarter driver might look at the guardrails and use them as guidance. That's kind of how I think about it. And in this case, we have the tool, so it can run this stuff, and that's what I said, right? It can read the code, it can run commands, it can run the image, it can look at the images, it can get output from the images. That's the agentic harness, and it kind of feeds, that's the sensors for the model. That's how the model interacts with the real world. And we've seen like the sensors, we tweak them for Opus, we changed some stuff, even for Gemini. But obviously, like the smarter you are, the better you can use sensory input, right? And I think this was pretty impressive, to be honest. Like
I didn't think it would do it that fast. I thought,
Oh, you thought it was going to take longer?
I thought it would take longer, or maybe it would break and not be quite right. So,
I mean, let's look at this. Look, so it only changed 3 files, right? And what did it change? It changed like this definition. That's a clean, short change, like a small self-contained change, right? And then it extracted something to handle this select graphic rendition escape sequences, right? And this is, I think, well contained. Like you could pull out some stuff and say like, don't hard code those numbers, but the numbers are hard coded in every protocol.
Right.
It pulled it out here.
Interesting.
And then here it added like more support for these colors.
Cool.
And that's it. It's a pretty, and then you say JJ commit, add support for 256 true colors.
You're still writing your own commit messages, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I'll take all the credit I can get,
I love it. All right. So I don't know about you, but this makes me really excited about eating ham.
I'm hungry, man. I'm really hungry. I've not eaten since lunch, and lunch wasn't a lot, and it's getting late. I'm hungry. Yeah.
Then you want some ham. All right. And if you're all watching at the beginning of the show, you know what that means. So good luck. Move fast, type fast. All right. So we only have about 15 minutes left. And
do we have enough time, or what do you think?
Yeah. So I think we should do prompt shootout, because I think a lot of folks that are coding with agents, they prompt full time now. So what we're going to do, everybody, is show you the same task done by AMP with 2 different prompts. And let's just see how it goes and see what works, what doesn't work. So
I'll need to be quick, I think.
All right. So let's pull it up and see. Let's just see how.
Okay. So what I have 2 checkouts here. It's the same project, right? It's a terminal emulator, and I have 2 checkouts, 1 and 2 here. And the problem that we want to fix is HTOP. This is a terminal application, and it looks kind of weird, right?
Yep.
So what I want to do is, what I want to compare is, and it looks weird. Like this stuff up here is wrong, right? If you
Right.
look at it in Ghost, you can see this is what it should look like. Okay.
And so we're looking at in Tucanti, which is your custom terminal.
Exactly. This is still exactly.
And we want to fix HTOP.
And want to fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot, and I'm going to say, I'm going to close it, and I'm going to say in this one, I'm going to start AMP. I'm going to start AMP over here too. And in this one, you can see at the bottom here, this is the different checkouts. I'm going to say, hey, in this terminal emulator, HTOP looks really weird. I attached a screenshot. Can you use the capture mode as a feedback loop and figure out how to fix this so we display HTOP correctly?
Boom.
So that's one prompt. And then the other, and I'm interested in this, I'm going to say hello instead of hey.
I was about to call it, you always say hey.
I always say hey. Hello, buddy. I need your help.
Buddy.
And now I'm going to say, I'm going to say HTOP looks weird when rendered here. Okay. It's a really short prompt. I'm not going to say use this to get feedback. I'm not attaching a screenshot. So what I assume, I don't know. What I assume is that this one here will do worse.
Let's find out.
So I'm going to hit return here, and I'm going to hit return here. I've never done this. This is the first prompt that we're doing. This
Oh
is
my
live.
gosh. And while we're waiting, so over 35 of you got the secret word. So we're going to see.
What?
Yes.
Was it hamster?
So we'll let you know tomorrow who gets the $500 in AMP credit.
Okay,
so let's walk.
Oh, they're both spawning. So the first one is spawning. Look, like the one on the left where I said use the capture mode already spawned.
Oh my God.
So now it's looking at the results, right? Look at this, blah, 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 looks correct. This is again the sub agent. I think I should have disabled this maybe, but let's see if it comes back with something.
So the one
look, this
didn't use the tool because it doesn't know about it.
It gave up. It stopped.
Oh, right? Would you like me
with no look? It says like with no color it works. The issues with the color. So this one stopped, right? So what does this one say? Would you like me to implement the missing CS for scroll region operation? I don't know if this is true. Huh. So it doesn't have any feedback. It didn't use the capture loop. I didn't put it in the prompt. So I'm just gonna say yes.
Well, it's so interesting. The one on the left is just working.
And the one on the left, it knows about the feedback. I told it to use it. It just keeps chugging through this. I don't know if it's correct. I honestly don't know. I've not. But so scroll region support is something. This is what the one on the right says. I've not implemented this in the terminal emulator. So here, look.
Okay.
The progress bars in HTOP show this. The issue is likely that HTOP uses Unicode characters like this. These might not be displaying correctly. The problem is that. Okay, but some characters are wide, and let me run a test to see. So the theory on the left, look at this. So it uses the same feedback loop again.
Wow.
Look at this. Now it looks at it. Check if the show as a horizontal line, or if it shows as. Oh my God! And this on the right, is it going down? It's not handling the alternate character set. So now I'm going to implement it. I need to add a field. I need to handle this. Map to this. Dude, this is exciting. I didn't think it would be this exciting.
It's
okay.
I love how it says when it says like I see more clearly now.
Yes.
Opus is doing this a lot now.
Just like the song. So, but look, so this one here on the right says build succeeded. Try running HTOP now. It should look much better. So let's see if it's right. So if I run this, and now I'm like, it doesn't look better, dude.
Yeah.
You know, so now I could take the screenshot. I'm so tempted. I love screenshots, but I'm not going to. And I'm saying it doesn't look much better.
No.
It's still the same issue, man. There you go.
I like.
So here on the left, what's it doing? On the left, print method. So it does like the altered character display. Okay, let's test it. So here again, it's running again a feedback loop. Do you see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
The horizontal line showed
up.
Yeah. So now what the sub agent is asked, check if this shows the horizontal line instead of QQQ. Now what is it? It isn't being trained. I think it is.
Look at that. It's
So
wild how it
here's
spawns it in checks.
Yeah. You look at the screenshot directly. I'm just gonna say not. Yeah.
Okay, so people, while you do that, Andreas is asking, you might have missed it. He said, how do you make the capture mode known to AMP? Is it a custom command or an MCP?
It's I build it into the app. So I build it into the app itself, and
Into AMP.
sorry, into my
Oh, it's a
terminal.
Tucanti. Got it.
Yeah. Ooh, sorry. Okay, now sorry.
While you figure this out, so engineer
Yeah.
wannabe says, "Hello, buddy" is costing engineers hundreds of dollars a year.
Yeah.
I love it.
There you go. ACS test 4. There you go. Yeah. So it looks right. Yeah.
Okay. So what do we think is happening here?
So it's a bit confused because of the sub agent. Don't use this. Use the read file. Sorry, I need to tell it to disable the look-at stuff.
Next time.
There you go. So now it reads it, and now it will say, "Yeah, it. What the hell? Looks like." So this is because I started typing while it was doing this. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Don't interrupt the agent. Come on.
Yeah.
Let AMP do its
Does it
thing.
look better?
All right, we only have
it
8
look
minutes. What's gonna
Yeah, we
happen?
have 8. I don't know if we'll make it. But here on the right, it capture didn't work. Can you describe specifically what looks wrong?
Interesting.
Progress.
Oh,
Progress. Let me check if there's an issue with this. Oh, interesting. So now it should look at. There you go. So now it uses the retool, which is right. So
Okay.
doesn't use. There you go. There you go.
This is working. I can see.
Okay, it's column alignment. Okay, so now it's still going, right? Okay, so here capture didn't work. Try again, please.
Please, of course.
Yeah, I'll always say please. So look, like now it does it too, right? So now it looks at this.
Okay.
Use the read tool to look at the. Oh my god.
The other one's trying to.
Yeah, I need to disable this. This is good feedback though. It feels like there's a loss of. So this is the one on the left. This looks good. I think it fixed it. No.
Yeah. I mean,
so now, okay, look, like the one on the right is now catching up, right?
Wow.
So it now says, I can see the issue, blah, blah, blah. The meter bars are missing sequence. This is much better. This is when the one on the left says. So now the right one is on the same track.
Got it.
Okay.
So if we step back, I would say the big thing that's obvious here is the feedback tool, whatever it is. So give your agent a feedback loop.
Yes.
And just with that, right?
Yep.
The one on the left got busy, made progress autonomously.
And didn't use feedback from me, right? Like I basically fucked it up by typing while it was doing stuff.
Right.
I messed it up.
You got in its way. All right.
Also cool. on this punt, Ryan, so you said if we take a step back, look at how I want to show something. And look at how tall this lamp is behind me. You might think this is a desk lamp, but actually, look, if I get up.
what is reality just altered? What?
It's as big as it's bigger than my head. It's far bigger than mine. So
and everyone watching did not know that the whole show. They just thought it was your desktop lamp.
They were like, this is a desk lamp. Okay, look. So the one on the right is doing some other stuff. I don't know. But on the left, let's take a look. So let's check. H-top. That looks pretty good.
Okay.
I think that looks pretty good.
Yep. Much better.
And now this is what somebody on Twitch suggested. They were saying you should, the one on the right is still going. You should give the tool like the ability to compare. So to also spawn Ghosty and take a screenshot or something, right? So it can look at Ghosty and compare, and then it has even better feedback.
Yeah. So let's take a step back. So
again to the lamp.
This is to the lamp. So everyone, this is called prompt shootout. And what we're trying to do is figure out, take the same task and use 2 different prompts and see what happens. I think technically you did this because they were in 2 different folders, so we didn't have to use Git work trees.
Yep.
And I would say the big, reinforcement, because we've been saying this forever, is that
Yes.
give the agent a feedback loop. And so let's draw back from that and say, okay, well, what can everybody watching do with that information? What would you suggest?
I would suggest, I don't know, look, like I've done a lot of test-driven development in my life, TDD, right? And there was always a big debate about, making the code easier to test, meaning if you write a calculator class or something, right, to calculate number, whatever, like expressions or something, should you add like private fields or something, or methods, so that in the test you can inspect its inner workings and make sure it works? And there was like a lot of philosophical debate about this, like, well, you're only writing code to make the testing easier or something. And I think what I've done here is, and I can show this because Andreas asked, let me pull up this, let's make this a little bit bigger. I can find it. I added, if you go to app capture, this capture thing is built into the application code. It's not a separate thing. It's not a separate tool. It's built into this. So basically, let me pull up the agents MD. Here, capture mode, screenshot testing. The terminal supports a -- capture mode. So you can basically run the terminal and say -- capture delay and then output, and then you get the screenshot. We can do this ourselves. We can say, here, I can do cargo run. So this cargo run, we've seen this. This runs my terminal, which is, pnpm run, whatever. And then we say capture echo hello delay, and then save it to hello. So it does this, types hello, and then says capture to this. And then we can say open this file. And there it is. It's a screen capture of this. And I built this into the app because I want, and I think that's how code bases are going to change. I think code bases are going to have to build, like if you want your agent to work on your code base, you don't want it to run up something and have to click through 5 different things to get to the thing that it's working on. You want the ability for the agent to get feedback about what it's working on. And that's cool. Not just good for the agent, it's good for the human.
That's so cool. So I think the step change there is we're not talking about an MCP. We're not talking about a script that the agent calls. We're talking about, think about your code base actually having a feedback loop that the agent can call, probably in the command line or some other way. That's oh my God. I just got I never thought I'd get goosebumps before talking about code, but I just did.
Look, like if it depends on what you're building, right? But say you have a web application, standard web application, and it has multiple different screens. But if you are a user, you just log in and it's a single page application and you click through stuff to open a bunch of different screens. If you want to work with agents, I think it would be nice if you would have a mode in your web applications where you can bring up any screen that the application has by typing in a different URL, right? So you can say /login screen 3 or something. And then the agent can say, let me take a look at what login 3 looks like. And it opens the Chrome DevTools MCP or Playwright or whatever, and it gets feedback about this URL.
Yes.
You want to decompose your application into single inspectable things that don't require you to build the whole thing and click through it and have like a lot of human intervention.
Right.
And back in the day, we called it test-driven development.
Yep.
And now it's like agent-driven development, which means can the agent, by using shell commands or whatever else, or screenshots or text output or log files, can it inspect how the application is doing?
So I feel like, I hope you just invented agent-driven development.
I mean,
come on.
Guess who has the trademark? guess who's getting rich from this?
You. All right. So on that note, y'all, I had a blast. Hopefully everybody watching did as well. We went through all sorts of stuff, right? So we covered a little bit of news, Opus 4.5. We talked about AMP being its own company now. We talked about how to take 2 prompts and battle them against each other and prompt shootout. But most importantly, build those feedback loops and think about agent-driven development. We talked about all sorts of stuff. We had you code a quick feature for Toucanti, which is what I'm going to call it. So thanks everybody for watching. Tons of comments coming in. We're going to be doing this every week, having a lot of fun, and we're going to be giving $500 away in AMP credit every week. So congrats to you that figured out the word was ham. So Torsten, give us a parting bit of encouragement or something to think about.
I think with these models getting better, I've been starting to think that the goalposts have shifted again. And if anybody was watching, it's not the audience, but if anybody's watching and they think, oh, agents can only do this, or they're only good for this, I've updated my opinion on this in the last 2 or 3 weeks again. I think with Opus 4.5, they can go for longer and they can go further and they can take on more challenging tasks and they can surprise you. And I think you need to be on the lookout of constantly trying to get yourself out of a rut you might be stuck in. So I don't know, parting thought is try the newest frontier model in whatever agent you use and give it a challenging task and see how it does.
Amen. Love it. Well, thanks for spending time, especially since it's late over in Estonia where you are. And everybody, will see you in a week. Don't forget to join buildcrew.team. It's free. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.